I think at the end of the day, it's you got to be in it for the right reasons. For this music and art, I'm not in it for the money. It's not what it's about for me. It's about personal happiness and experience. So I guess if you're out there thinking that you're going to make millions of dollars out of making music, then you probably need to look for another career, because that doesn't really happen. I've been doing this for 20 years, and it's only in the last 3 years that things are starting to happen for me. But before then, it was hard work. It was lots of doing gigs for free, doing gigs and not getting paid much for, etc., etc. So if you want to do what I'm doing, then just be prepared to put a lot of energy into it. And but the rewards are good, are amazing. They're memorable. You know, like I'm just about to start my 14th European tour. I've been over there 14 times. I've done Australia 86 times. You know, so it's like that's the beauty of it. You know what I mean? You get to see the world and play your music and stuff, and get to meet awesome people like yourselves, and just generally have a good time. If it's coming from somewhere from the heart, then choice. That's where it's got to come from. The biggest was, as I said, having no money for 17 years and like struggling to pay the rent, or not even having enough money to buy new guitar strings or something like that, you know. So that was always hard, but that's kind of exciting as well, you know. That's the whole idea of living your dream. So I believe that you have to struggle before you can succeed, so that you can appreciate where you came from, and you can appreciate the hardship, and you can be grateful for everything that comes your way. Yeah. I mean, I guess I've got to go back to when I was a teenager, I guess, and when I first got into music, I really loved like Jimi Hendrix, you know what I mean? And Jimi Hendrix was notorious for taking drugs, being a womanizer, taking acid, smoking pot, you know what I mean? But I thought of him as a great inspiration, musical inspiration, you know what I mean? And he gave me a lot of focus on playing the guitar. And but I guess if you want to be really sort of PC about it, he wasn't very PC at all, you know what I mean? This guy was like, you know, played the guitar most of the time on acid and drunk, and you know what I mean? So, but he still, to me, was a great inspiration, and I believe his music and the way he played guitar is a big reason why I've gotten to where I am now, you know what I mean? So for me, I know that a lot of kids look up to me and think of me as an inspiration, which is awesome, and think of me as a role model, which is fantastic. I think that's great. I'm just got to be straight up and be honest. And, you know, I'm not perfect, and no one in this world is perfect. But if young kids can look at me the same way as perhaps I looked at Jimi Hendrix, etc., and young kids look at me and what I've achieved and what I'm achieving, and if it can help them improve their life and give them some drive and some goal, then sweet as, that's great by me.
Therein lies the difference between an inspiration and being a role model, eh?
I guess so, yeah. Now, you know, you've got to remember, I was a troublesome kid, mucking around with gangs, doing crime. I was anti-this, anti-that, anti-the police, anti-establishment, anti-school. I was just, man, a really punk attitude. So, you know, for me to be in the position where I am now, 20 years later, where young kids look at me as an inspiration, you know, I take that on board and go, okay, that's great, that's cool. But at the end of the day, also, I've got to say, look, I'm still rock and roll and I still make mistakes. But I guess the thing is to be acknowledge those mistakes, you know what I mean, and learn from those mistakes and move on, you know. I mean, I don't think there's anyone perfect in this world. Even the most perfect role model that you can think of will probably have some little dark secrets in their closet as well, you know what I mean? It's just human nature. So I guess the biggest thing is not to judge as well, you know. And I think a lot of people are quick to judge without looking at their own backyard first and looking at themselves first and going, well, it's very easy to point the finger, you know what I mean? And sometimes, you know, just remember this, every time someone points one finger at you, there's 3 fingers pointing back at you. So
That's good, I like that. Young people, from a young person's perspective, it simply means they like what you do,
yeah.
and therefore they want to be like you. So what, do you want younger people to be like you? What are your, why not? Why?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I love my job, what I do. I make music and art for a living, and it gets me all around the world. Tomorrow I fly to London and start a 2-week tour of the UK. With Shapeshifter, you know. Straight after that, I tour Australia for 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and then I come back for a week and go to Rarotonga, and then I go overseas again. So it's if that's what young kids are into, then for sure, it's a great lifestyle. You know, I get to meet some of the most awesomest people, the most inspiring people. You name them, I've met them, or played with them, or played alongside them, or played with them at festivals. And for me, you know, from that little troublesome 13-year-old, you know, that was what I wanted to do. I wanted to make music, I wanted to rock out, and I wanted to see the world. And I'm living that dream. And I'm living that dream. So if kids out there want to do that, then by all means, just yeah, you got to have dreams, and you got to have some goals, and you got to have a passion. And my passion is to make music and art and get it out there to the world and play it to the world. You know what I mean? So that's what I do. I'm performing at an R18 gig, my private gig. People pay money to see me. I sing 2 lines of a rap song while the police are in the building, and it's created this big kerfuffle. And you know, I sing a lot of explicit kind of lyrics. You know, I sing, you know, some Prodigy things, smack my bitch up, you know, that thing. There's even Eric Clapton's "I Shot the Sheriff." Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, should I not sing that as well? I just, you know, so. The whole thing to me has been blown out of proportion, and I guess if you want to judge me for that, if you want to judge my character for that, then, you know, that's a bit of a bummer that you judge me on that one little thing when you look at all the cool things I've done, you know what I mean? Hey.
Cool. So where to from here, Tiki? You're obviously not bothered by this court case.
No.
I read somewhere that you'll be on tour during the court case.
Yeah, I am. I'm going to be, I'm due in court on the 30th of May, and I'm going to be touring Australia, so... My lawyer's going to stand there and go, not guilty if it gets to court, and I'm ready to take whatever comes my way. You know, if the judge feels that I should be punished and fined and whatever, then so be it. It's not going to stop me from doing what I'm doing. It's not going to stop me from singing those lyrics, and it's not going to stop anyone else from singing those lyrics. You know, so at the end of the day, it's just a big kerfuffle to me. It's like, oh well. It's unfortunate that one police officer got offended and wanted to make a big deal about it.
Well, that brings me to the next question. Would you advise anyone else to do it? Would you be doing it again? Would you do it here?
at my, this is the whole point. At an all-ager gig with kids, at a family festival with kids, no way. There's no way I'd sing a lyric like that. Not in a million years. There's no way. But at my private R18 concert with adults, I should be able to sing what I like. And so I'm going to sing what I like at those gigs, especially if they're my private gigs. So of course I'll sing it again. Yeah, the whole thing's a joke, you know what I mean? Awesome song. I love that song. I believed in the lyrics for sure because of where they came from. They were written in 1989 by Dr. Dre and Ice Cube from a rap group called NWA, and they came about as a protest song because they were sick of their youth being beaten up by police and being arrested by police for no reason at all. This is where that song came from. So I believe it for that, but 20 years later, I never thought that I would get arrested for singing those lyrics, you know what I mean? Tough question, but real.
to be real.
Yeah.
Do people have been wondering, do you really have anything against the police, or is it just a song?
Of course not. It's a song.
Yeah.
You know, as I said, what about Eric Clapton's "I Shot the Sheriff"? If I started singing that, would you arrest me and think that I hate the sheriff?
Yeah.
As I said, Prodigy, "Smack My Bitch Up." I sing that. Do you think I'm going to go out and beat up my girlfriend and stuff? Come on, it's lyrics. It's lyrics of a song. It's art. It's performance. If you start judging me upon the lyrics that I sing, especially in a party environment, then it's pretty crazy. You know, it's like, look at all the comedians in New Zealand who actually get on primetime TV and who diss the Queen, diss the Prime Minister, diss everyone out there, say swear words, and they don't get arrested. You know, so I'm just trying to kind of get everyone on the same level here and kind of realise that it's art, it's performance, it's freedom of speech. If you're going to arrest me for singing "F the Police," then you've got to arrest half the musicians, half the DJs, pretty much all the comedians, and you've got to arrest a few politicians as well while you're at it. I think the police do an amazing job. I think, you know, by me singing "F the Police," it doesn't mean that I hate the police or anything like that. It's a lyric. You know, I'm thinking of doing a song called "F the IRD," or "F the taxman," or "F the parking meter person," because I'm sick of, you know what I mean? It's a song, it's art. It's ridiculous.
Do you think young people should have an attitude towards the police because of what's happened to you? Because the truth is, in Tauranga they do, and
Yeah,
I'm not
do.
blaming it on you, but it has, you know,
Yeah.
it's increased a little bit lately. So what would you say to those young people?
You know, it's a really tough one. The police are trying to do the best they can. I just believe that, you know, that saying, it only takes one rotten apple to spoil the whole lot. I just think possibly that this one police officer, maybe he overreacted, and when he could have just let it go. He could have just gone, oh, it's just a song, he's just performing a song, and let it go. And it's unfortunately kind of spurred this whole thing up. And it's also, you know, maybe that one officer who can, see, I'm doing fine because I've got a high profile, I've got media connections, I've got money to be able to fight this thing. But take it back to, like, for you, for example, right, or you, if you're on the street and you get pulled over by one of those kind of policemen who has a chip on their shoulder, then you don't have any option, and it can ruin the rest of your life. You know what I mean? You can get done, thrown in prison, or get a fine, and that makes you angry towards the cops just because of this one policeman. Now, I've heard of a lot of things going around this area, also around New Zealand, where people are getting arrested for doing hardly anything wrong. So I think maybe this whole incident with me, hopefully, can raise some issues, and hopefully can try to mend some of those that raruraru, that feeling between the youth and the police, and even adults and police, because there's a lot of adults out there who don't like the police either. So I think possibly maybe this is why this has happened to me, is so that we can kind of look at it objectively and try to work out some sort of thing. Maybe there needs to be more respect by the police to the public, and there needs to be more respect by the public to the police. So maybe this incident that I'm going through right now can kind of help that and help mend those gaps. That's what I would like to see. I don't want to see you know, and that's not what it's about. So maybe that's why this is happening to me. Maybe.
Good words of wisdom.
Oh, 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 oh.